things on a chilly evening in West Deptford, New Jersey at West Deptford High School, where tonight CN8 presents high school football. The Eagles of West Deptford playing host to the Red Raiders from Paulsboro. Hello again, everyone. Ken Phelps along with Mike Lindner. I hope everybody have a terrific Thanksgiving weekend. And Mike, when you get down to this time of the year, Thanksgiving means a little chilly weather, but most importantly, big games, big rivalries. Tonight, two teams on a mission.
Absolutely. Different missions in a way. Paulsboro coming in looking to continue their way towards an undefeated season and to win back the Colonial Conference League Championship that they lost a year ago. West Deptford now knocked out of the playoffs, but looking to keep, with a win tonight, a share of the Colonial Conference Championship and also beat Paulsboro for the second time in a row after 19 games.
Well, the guy that Paulsboro is going to look to lead them along the way on offense anyway is Isaac Redmond.
Oh, yeah, and how about this Redmond guy? He's just a sophomore, comes in with pretty nice size, 5'10", 185 pounds. But the big thing here, over 1,000 yards in his sophomore season and 16 touchdowns. He's one of a long line of outstanding offensive players for the Paulsboro Red Raiders.
Well, West Deptford's going to try and stuff the run at defensive tackle with Jason Morrell.
Well, Jason Morrell's a guy that comes in with great credentials, all South Jersey a season ago, and that's a big deal down in this part of the state, and has been all conference now 2 seasons in a row. Great size, good speed, and really tremendous reactions. He's a super defensive player, a real leader.
Now, on offense for West Deptford, Brett Holmes has his name all over the school's record books.
Yeah, comes in 35 touchdowns in his career, over 3,200 yards he has amassed in a fine, outstanding running career, and this year alone has more than 1,200 yards on the ground. Brett Holmes has to have a big game for them to win tonight over Paulsboro.
Well, Paulsboro will also try and stuff it at the defensive tackle with Big Tom Curl.
Well, Tom Curl's one of those guys that is a multi-sport athlete down at Paulsboro High School. They're noted, of course, for outstanding football, but even better wrestling programs, and Curl, third in the state a year ago, comes in at 6'1", 255 pounds, but even with that weight, the quickness he has from the defensive position is just amazing. Tom Curl, great defensive player for Paulsboro.
Well, the rivalries don't get any bigger than this one here in South Jersey. Paulsboro and West Deptford always battle it out in good games. When we come back from this break, we'll have the starting lineups and the opening kickoff next here on CN8. And welcome back to West Deptford, New Jersey, and West Deptford High School. The Eagles have come ready to play. Mike trying to make up for that loss last week against Buna in the playoffs, and they look pumped up coming out.
Yeah, they figure this is their playoff final game, huh? And what better team for them to go up against than their rival, next-door neighbor, Paulsboro, coming in. This has been a great series, even though there's just that one victory for West Deptford. But the most important fact is that was a year ago. Paulsboro comes over here. This is the club under this guy, Glenn Howard, who's had such a tremendous career there, 14 years now, played there in high school, went on to the University of Minnesota, and then had a big pro career with the Philadelphia Stars, the old USFL. 125 victories, 22 losses. Not bad in that great 62-game winning streak. I bet you 30 of those games, and they were super teams. This guy, Clyde Folsom, came to West Deptford 10 years ago now from Bishop Eustace, and he's had a great career also. This year, 7-2, but overall, 94 victories against 50 losses and 4 ties.
Now the Eagles won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. Thus Paulsboro will receive, and a pretty good return. Slips and falls down at the 35-yard line on the return. Isaac Redmond.
He is the man. We'll talk about him a lot tonight.
Meanwhile, the Red Raiders led by their quarterback, Brian Webster. He's one of 2 we're going to see tonight. The senior gets to start.
Yeah, I like the fact that he can run and throw, does it both. 79 attempts, 42 completions, over 50% for 770 yards with those 6 touchdowns. But look at that, the most important thing, just the 2 interceptions. You'll see him and you'll see Jimmy Funk, number 5 and number 7, playing tonight at the quarterback slot.
All right, we are set and ready to begin this offensive series for Paulsboro. First down and 10. The ball spotted at their own 37-yard line. Hand off to Redmond. He is tripped up. The ball came loose. There's a pileup at the 37-yard line, and West Deptford says they have it. No official indication yet.
This would be a huge turnaround, just the kind of break maybe these Eagles need at the start of the ball game. Tell you what, Redmond really got upended. Looked like he was trying to leap and the ball came loose when he was up in the air. And coaches go crazy, the players go crazy, and they were hoping for a break. Watch how Redmond goes way up in the air with that one leg at least. Look, I'm going to leap over. No, I'm not. And as a result, all his power is gone, ball's knocked loose, and it's a struggle there to see who can come up with the football. And we don't know exactly who, but it was at least a green shirt.
I can tell you this much, strongest man on the bottom of the pile.
Yep, Bob Weinhardt leads the way. He's had a real nice season. Just under 600 passing yards and 7 touchdowns, but again, only 1 interception, but he can run the football also.
Straight forward up the middle with Brett Holmes, the tailback. He gets to the 35-yard line and not much more on first down.
Yeah, we talked about Holmes.
And a penalty flag flies in late as we get a look at the starters for the West Deptford Eagles. We'll wait just a moment to get the official indication from our referee for tonight's contest. That is Al Shoup.
Well, they're taking their time, and I see a handkerchief being shoved away, but here it comes. Oh, my. So things go on the Eagles' way, huh? Folsom's got to love it.
That's going to move the ball all the way down to the Paulsboro 20-yard line. So you talk about West Deptford getting on top in this game early and establishing momentum. They have done it to this point. Their officials there, referee Al Shoup, John Bozarth, Keith Harris, Frank Lamara, and Dave Bauman. The officiating crew tonight here in West Deptford. Weinhardt on a keeper around. We get to about the 18-yard line. Got to bring up second down. Let's take a look at the starters now. Backs and receivers for the West Deptford Eagles, Jamie Gonzalez, Fred Burt, Brett Holmes in the backfield, Chris Cooper the split end, Justin O'Neill the tight end up front, Ives, Megan, Podolsky, Morrell, and Zach Knapp from left to right. Up front for the Eagles. Weinhardt brings him to the line of scrimmage on second down. Handoff around left side. Terrific tackle that time on Jamie Gonzalez by Mike Mendenhall.
Yeah, Mendenhall's a good one, a great wrestler also. But he has 74 tackles on the season already, and he's an anchor on this outstanding defense.
And Mendenhall leads the defensive line along with Holloway, Damas, Curl, and Tropia. The linebackers, Giorgiani and Kelly. And in the secondary, Giles, Webster, Paulson, and Sharper. 10-13, and the clock is rolling here in the first quarter from West Deptford, New Jersey. Ken Phelps and Mike Lindner with you. Glad to have you along here on CN8. Weinhardt, a little play action. Penalty flag on the play. He keeps it around the left side and is ripped to the ground at about the 10-yard line. Close to a first down, depending on the penalty flag.
Yeah, he's just shy, but it would be 4-down territory if it were not against him. But I think it's holding. That's generally where they threw that flag. Yep. Shame. He would have been about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches shy of the first down. They would have gone for it, kept the drive alive. Now they got to come up with a big play. And I'll tell you what, the one thing Weinhardt showed us was that he can make the right decision, because wide open in terms of running, he did not hesitate at all. Kept the ball, put it away, and went downfield. Well, the way Folsom's yelling there, you think maybe Cooper might have been guilty of the hold, number 87. At least he's getting the brunt of the coach's anger.
The penalty from the spot of the foul backed him up to the 32-yard line. They're facing 3rd and 22.
Howard trying to get the right defensive call into his ball club. We're looking across. Ryan Kelly, who calls the defensive signals, number 53, takes a long look and gets the right call, I'm sure.
Weinhardt going to throw it this time. Under pressure. Somehow escapes out of it, scrambling to the right side, now running for his life, gets a couple of blocks. And he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
And I'm not sure he did that. I think he comes up with maybe a 2-3 yard loss.
And if he only lost that much, that's a positive play for West Deptford.
Yeah.
He was pinned back around midfield.
A lot of athleticism, huh? Watch him get away. These are pretty good football players. He's dodging, gets a couple of good blocks. There's one. Here comes another one. And now he says, uh-oh, I just got to get to the sideline if I can. And instead, he is dragged down and takes a real hit from Preston Paulson, number 4. Paulson, one of those athletic names in Paulsboro history. Been Paulson's forever, it seems like, down there.
And one of the guys chasing Weinhardt was Joe Tropia, who's got 6 sacks on the year. A couple of broken tackles for Paulsboro, and they get across the 30 to the 27-yard line.
Tell you what kind of surprises me that I think maybe look back on that now and think about playing field position, huh? Maybe punt Paulsboro down and in tight, but not going to happen.
Jamie Gonzalez, the ball carrier there.
Yeah, it looked like he had some room, but remember, they're playing off because they had so far to go for that first down, and then we have the fumble at the end, which is really academic and irrelevant.
Well, very close. Hard to see from that angle whether or not he actually was on the ground. First down and 10 for Paulsboro. Webster's going to run with it around the right side. He's got some room. It's a sprint. He's at midfield. 40, couple of guys in high pursuit. And they finally push him out of bounds, but he's inside the 20-yard line to the 18.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked before the ball game, and I know this club just a little bit more than you. I haven't watched them for 40 years almost, it seems like. But the one thing you know with Paulsboro is you're going to get great speed. And watch this move by Webster. Reads the option perfect. Nobody there to make a move on him. He just turns upfield, turns on the jets, and shows the great speed. And finally hauled down by Fred Burt, knocked out of bounds. Cooper also chasing along the way. But I'll tell you what, couldn't have read the option any better. And of course, with that speed, why not keep it and go?
First down and 10 for Paulsboro. Motion to the near side. Right up the middle for a couple. Not a whole lot of deception there as they give the ball to Isaac Redmond. Redmond over 1,000 yards rushing on the year and 16 touchdowns. You see the Red Raider offense led in the backfield by Isaac Redmond, Hilarion, Giles, Hampton, and Mendenhall. Up front, it's Kelly, Curl, Damask, Tropia, and Esposito.
And Esposito's one of those big guys, huh? 6'1", 325 pounds at the right tackle position. He's at, I think, the right guard, right tackle, and right end position.
They pitch to Redmond to go to the short side. Not a lot of running room, but nevertheless did not get out of bounds to stop the clock, so it rolls. But he should have a first down. Take a look at the Eagles' defensive starters. Left to right across the front, and the front five, McWhite, Morrell, Okai, Ives, and O'Neill. Holmes and Harker are the two linebackers in this 5-2 defense, and Cooper, Burt, Eck, and Mancuso make up the secondary. First down and goal now, ball spotted at the 5-yard line. Again, they pitch to Redmond. Cuts it up, and he is into the end zone easily for the touchdown, and the Red Raiders hit the scoreboard first. Isaac Redmond with his 17th rushing touchdown this season.
Well, made it look easy, did they? The reason it looked easy was because of the outstanding run by Webster to get him down there. But Redmond, 5'10", 185-pound sophomore. Can you imagine what that bodes for the future, let alone this ball game and the next one, which will be a South Jersey final against Glassboro, another undefeated club down here in this neck of the woods.
James Funk, the other quarterback, comes into attempt to win after try. And the kick is up, and it is good. And the Red Raiders have staked a 7-0 lead. And we talk about a change of momentum in the first two plays of the game. West Deptford gets a turnover and a huge personal foul penalty. And already they're trailing 7-0.
Yeah, can you imagine if they didn't have that penalty themselves, where they would have kept their drive alive and maybe got into the end zone themselves. But look at this, huh? Nice block out in front by Paterna, number 32. All he had to do was get his shoulder into the defender with the 5 yards to go for Redmond, and he was going to do a good job, and they do it in easy fashion, huh? 4 plays, 74 yards. Not bad, huh?
1:20 off the clock, and Redmond finishes it off, and I guess a little justice there because he did most of the work to get him through there, along with a run by Webster.
Yep. Well, this is not what West Deptford wanted. We talked about what they wanted when they got those 2 big opening plays. Now they've got to really recover here, get a decent run back, good field position, And I'll tell you, that's not going to be that easy because Funk traditionally, and normally at least, has a real good foot and can drive this ball to the end zone.
Well, we watched him some in pregame warm-ups, and he was just really putting a foot into it. Bob Weinhardt, the quarterback, is back the deep man for the Eagles. And there you see it, a high end-over-end kick taken by Weinhardt at the 5. Waiting for his blockers to set up. And hits the pile and gets out just across the 20-yard line. That's where the Eagles will take over first down and 10, and they certainly have to do something to get the momentum back.
Surprised that they have the quarterback back there, huh? But he's a heady player. Usually can read the holes well. Let's see, a little face mask here, don't you think? How about a big face mask there? Paulsboro catches a break there.
Boy,
Not
no
being
penalty
called.
flag. That could have been a 15-yarder.
Oh, that would have been a 15.
First down and 10. They go right side and end around and get nothing with it. David Gonzalez.
You watch Mendenhall just string this play out. What a beautiful job, huh? Fleming at the defensive end job. His position is leverage. Turn everything to the inside if you can. String it out, and he just does it absolutely perfectly.
There you see a shot of Clyde Folsom there in the headsets. 15 years coaching. Pretty good winning percentage. Unfortunately, lost to Buna in the Group 2 quarterfinal last week by 6.
And one of the coaches who's had some success at Bishop Eustace in the 5 years he spent there, and that really got him this job at West Deptford.
Weinhardt rolling out. Going to throw it now. That pass is tipped and almost intercepted. And it falls incomplete to bring up third down.
Now that's one that Weinhardt, fortunate that wasn't picked off. That's one he wants to get out of bounds. If with that throw, make sure no one has an opportunity to get it because there was great coverage in the secondary defensively for the Red Raiders.
The Eagles looking at another long third down situation. To the right side, he's going to pull it down. He'll be close to a first down, but I think he may have gotten turned back at the 30-yard line. He needs to cross the 31 for a fresh set of downs here.
He does not have it. They will certainly, one would assume, would punt at this juncture of the ball game. 6:36 remaining in the first.
On a cold night like this.
A good read because once again he comes out here and finds that everything is wide open for him to get 6, 8, or 10 yards, but he's really hit well by Preston Paulson. And then some other guys come in to help clean him up. Ryan Kelly, one of them. Just a little surprise. What do you think,
You see the breath on all the players down there? Yeah. The pads are a little harder, a little crisper.
All right, now they get the punter in there.
Right now, Paulsboro with nobody back. Kick is going to take a little bit of a hop for West Deptford, and then a penalty flag flies in again late.
This would be an interesting call. No one near the ball. Certainly nobody made any fair catch signal. I think maybe the Paulsboro player doing a little button of heads when he shouldn't have been doing it. See if that's what the call is. Folsom wants him to push him back. He assumes it's a maybe unsportsmanlike, personal foul, holding.
Interesting call when you had nobody back for a return.
Right. One wonders what are you holding them for? And there was no change of possession, so therefore they will get the hold and pick up a first down since Paulsboro did not touch the ball. No change of possession. Wow.
So you got to know Glenn Howard's not real happy about that. What an interesting call here in the first quarter. It's an interesting turn of events here in this first quarter tonight.
Yep. They got to take advantage of it, though. Advantage means, in this case, not necessarily scoring. Advantage means work down the field a little bit, so if you do have to punt, you can play field position with Paulsboro and try to back them up a little bit. So score is not essential, but you've got to get some first downs.
There's Holmes right at the middle. Still on his feet. Terrific run across midfield to the Paulsboro 45-yard line.
You love it when an offensive back gets to a linebacker or a DB, puts the shoulder down and says, you're in the ball game and you're in it with me, and you're going to go the direction in which I want you to go. Watch, here comes the shoulder right here. Bang! You're going backwards.
Eric DeTono just got turned right around. The sophomore, 5'11", 170.
Now that makes him think next time he sees Holmes coming at him.
Yeah, Eric, meet Brett Holmes. Holmes again right up the middle. Not a whole lot this time to the 42.
You'll see him pound Holmes left tackle to the right tackle, inside the tackles, get the linebackers and everybody thinking Brett Holmes. Then get it in his belly, pull it out and run the option to the outside or some kind of power sweep. So they want to make everybody think about Holmes. They know that they've heard about him all week long in the scouting report. Now they get the 2 runs from him, and tell you what, that's called being in the weight room, 5'9", 195 pounds.
Yeah, good size on him, and he's got 14 touchdowns and over 1,200 yards rushing this year.
Weinhardt, little error. I don't know if we'll see this one again, but let me tell you, the option was set up perfectly that time, but it was perfect for the toss to Bill Harker, number 40. Absolutely misread by Weinhardt, or they would have had big yardage gone downfield. So they should tuck it away. Remember that play for later. Just remind Bob that he made a little error there in judgment. Smart guy, he probably realizes it himself.
3rd down and 4 now for the Eagles. Holmes not going to get there. A yard, maybe 2.
Tries to go off the trap block of Jason Morrell, and either Morrell didn't get there in time or Holmes misread the block and went outside the trap block of Morrell instead of getting back in right behind his block.
4th down and 3 now coming up for West Deptford.
Well, they punted last time, and the time before they were in this position and chose not to punt. And I thought then they should have played field position. Right now they look as if that's what they're going to attempt to do.
Jason Williams back to kick it away, and again, nobody back deep for Paulsboro. And a good high kick, great coverage. If this takes a West Deptford bounce, which it does, they're going to play a terrific game of field position. Down to the 9-yard line.
That's an important part of the game, the kicking game, and you can really change the dynamics by that. And they did it on this situation. Now, theoretically, this reduces the plays that Paulsboro can run.
Timeout on the field. Paulsboro with the football when we come back. Brian Webster up underneath center for Paulsboro as they start inside their own 10 and throw on 1st down. 1 broken tackle, but not much more, as they wrestles the receiver back at the 15-yard line. The pass caught by Dave Giles.
Let me tell you, dangerous throw here, number 1. It is uncharacteristic for Paulsboro and Coach Glenn Howard to throw the ball like that from down that close. And although it's a reception and it's good, watch how close Chris Cooper comes to intercepting this. Oh, he could have stepped right in, got that arm there, and Cooper just walks into the end zone. Instead, he has to play wrestler here. It takes 3 of them to get Giles down.
Giles makes the catch. That's his 8th of the season. Coming up on 2.5 minutes left here in the first quarter of action. Redmond to the line of scrimmage and spinning into the secondary. Still on his feet. Has not gone down yet. At the 40, I don't think anybody's going to catch him. Isaac Redmond will go the distance. No penalty flags. Touchdown, Paulsboro. Unbelievable run by Isaac Redmond. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and never gave up.
Well, is that somebody special? Do you see that frequently? You can go to high school game weekend after weekend after weekend, and you'll go for many weeks throughout a season before you'll see a play, a run by anybody like number 20, Isaac Redmond just showed us there. 85-yard run that should have been 2, maybe 3 yards.
Touchdown number 18 on the season for young Mr. Redmond. James Funk on to try and make it a 14-point game, and he does not. He misses it wide to the right, and so the score remains 13-0. But right now, like it has been all of Paulsboro, despite West Deptford getting a few breaks here and there, they have been unable to take advantage, and more importantly, unable to stop the big play for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, they get them down deep. Looks like things are going their way. Just what we suggested, didn't need to score, but at least play field position. But watch this sensational play. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comes number 5, 6, 7. 7 of the green shirts got onto the 1 white shirt, and Redmond just turns them all away and has to enjoy that little run, doesn't he? You just don't see it. These are the sensational, the exceptional players.
He didn't show a lot of speed from the 50 on, but there was nobody going to catch him, and he did all the work in the first 5 yards.
A cousin, well, we'll have a chance when we see Redmond again, we'll talk about him, but interesting relation, an interesting relative that played for Paulsboro a few years back that we'll have a chance to talk about when it comes to Isaac Redmond.
Funk will come on and kick it away once again for Paulsboro. Weinhardt among a trio back deep for the Eagles. Terrific kick, going to come down. Brett Holmes is going to touch it, and it stays outside, so he has got to bring it out at the goal line, and he is trapped deep, and the Eagles will have very poor field position to start at right about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that can spell disaster, because you are now just a turnover away from being down 3 scores in the opening period or opening quarter of a football game against a 9-0 opponent who's looking for revenge from last year.
So we've got an injured Red Raider down on the far sidelines, member of the kickoff coverage. That is 12, Eric DeTono. But here come the Eagles, first down and 10, trailing by 13. They go forward into the pile, and not much there, a couple of yards. They'll bring up second down.
Holmes walks back to the huddle saying, come on, guys, we got to get our act together. Holmes been around, a real veteran, has been a part of a real successful program the last 3 seasons. Glenn Howard has his club just so well tuned. Watching them now, every time West Deptford moves, they adjust and slide to the right position. They don't find themselves out of position at all.
Weinhardt running for the sidelines. Got a couple on. Did he get twisted weird? And he is slow to get up.
Yeah, Tom Curl, huh? He wasn't the initial hit. I think it was Mendenhall first, but then Curl comes along. Let's see if 45's Mendenhall. Watch him. He'll come in, he'll grab him and just set him up for Curl. And Curl says, oh my goodness, mercy buckets. Twist and turn and shout. It's a shout at the end. It's a twist and turn first. Oh.
But curl up. Weinhardt did.
Yeah.
Third down now for West Deptford. Gonzalez comes into the middle. Close to a first down out near the 20-yard line. Looks like he'll be about a half-yard shy, which should bring up a fourth down situation as the clock rolls under 30 seconds here in the first quarter.
Now, this should not be a decision time for Clyde Folsom. This should be punt all the way, and he does get them out there in a hurry. But it looked like there for a second they were going to hesitate and say, we can get that half a yard, but you can't afford to take the chance. You don't get it, and bang, Paulsboro's in there for that third score. At least wait now for the time to run down here in the quarter and make sure everybody's on the same page, get this kickoff once we start the second quarter from the other end of the field.
Time has run out in the first quarter, 12 minutes of action in the books, and Paulsboro has taken control here early. They lead this one 13-0. Start of the second quarter coming up next here on CN8. And welcome back to West Deptford, New Jersey on a very chilly night here in South Jersey. And thankfully, very little wind, or it would be much, much worse.
Yeah, it's our first top coat night of the season, at least for me. You had one a week ago, I believe, up there in Pennsylvania.
Man.
Central
CB
Bucks.
West and Penn Ridge last week was very, very cold, and the wind to boot.
I had a well-earned night off.
Is that what you call that?
Yeah, taking the wife Christmas shopping. That's a real night off.
4th down situation here for West Deptford. They will kick it away, and again, nobody back deep for Paulsboro. Not a terrific kick, but going to take a big West Deptford bounce and roll inside the 40-yard line to the 39.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it were not academic at the end of the game, I'd like to ask Glenn Howard what his strategy was, never have anybody back on a 4th down situation.
Well, you'd think if they were not going to have anybody back, they'd bring 11 and try and get a block, but
Yeah, they're not even coming.
Either.
Right, they're not even coming at him. So, but tell you what, with the success that Glenn Howard has had, sometimes you just step back and watch and don't ask. West Deptford, you've got to tighten up right now and play some defense. Get the helmets on just a little bit tighter. You do not want to get down by 3 scores early.
Play action. Webster going to heave it deep. Has a man. Lonnie Hampton can't come up with a catch at the 26-yard line. Would have been a terrific over-the-shoulder catch a la Randy Moss Thanksgiving Day, but he's unable to pull it down.
I think Lonnie might have been surprised, not thinking that Webster could throw it that far, but he really had no trouble. I think he's got another 5-10 yards in there. Lofts it up, snaps it, and he had actually slowed just a little. Now it's off to the right, and it doesn't have a good angle on it. Had the man beat, but really got his feet tangled up just slightly as he looked back up and saw the ball was going to really take off.
The incomplete pass makes it 2nd down and 10. Red Raiders from their own 39. They throw it again, nearly intercepted that time by Jack Eck, the defensive back. The senior had it right in his hands.
Yeah, had he gotten that one, had Eck gotten that one, West Paulsboro would have simply been yelling, "Ick, huh? Oh, ick." But Eck comes close right there. That's twice now. Remember the early one before the long touchdown run that I thought could have been picked off. Now the throw here again, and that's the second one that coulda, but coulda, shoulda, woulda, doesn't get you ball games, it doesn't get you victories.
And the Red Raiders call a timeout. Glenn Howard wants to talk things over. So talking over with his quarterback, Brian Webster. 11:41 left in the second, and the Red Raiders leading by 13. Third down situation coming up here for Paulsboro. A couple of incomplete passes, one nearly intercepted. And they're going to throw again for the 3rd straight play. Webster over the middle. That pass is incomplete. Again, intended for Lonnie Hampton. He almost had it as he rolled across the ground.
Hampton wide open that time, got down and curled behind the defensive halfback and in front of the free safety. Found the seam, picked up by Webster, but Webster just threw it a little too hard, a little too low. Wants to just put that one right in his belly. Watch how much zip is on the ball here. And just too low. I'll tell you what, that would have been a catchable ball, wasn't it?
Let it get into his gut. Couldn't come down with it. 4th down, and Paulsboro will kick it away. Funk gets it away, nearly blocked it. A terrific kick. Weinhardt driven back to the 20-yard line. And not a lot of coverage, or not a lot of blocking, I should say, for West Deptford. A penalty flag flies in late.
Well, that was late.
Boy, did James Funk put a foot into that one or what?
Yeah, we watched him, and he's got a great reputation for kicking in any event, and we knew he could do the place kicking.
Clipping penalty going against the Eagles.
Well, against good teams, against anybody, it hurts to turn the ball over or get inopportune penalties. But look at this already. 159-50 in total yards, Paulsboro over West Deptford. Of course, 85 of those coming on that one explosive run. But as I was saying, going to turn it over or inopportune penalties, you better not do it against the really good teams because you will pay the price nearly every time.
Now Paulsboro with 159 yards of total offense, and we're only 36 seconds into the second quarter. The Red Raiders this year, over 3,000 yards of total offense this season. Good hold that time for West Deptford. Fred Burt into the open, into the secondary, being chased to the sidelines, driven out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Corus Cooper, the sophomore, chases into the sidelines and out of bounds. But a big play there for the Eagles.
Yeah, this is the play they finally get the trap out of Morrell. Number 50 leads them, the big all-South jersey. Watch 50. Watch Morrell come to the corner. He just turns upfield because there's an outstanding block right there. And then he gets the key block. Morrell gets the key block downfield that really springs Fred Burt. Just doesn't have the speed to get much more than the 52 yards he picked up.
That key block on the Red Raiders quarterback, Webster. They give it to Holmes this time, and he gets a couple as the pile turns him back at the 33.
Yeah, well, Holmes is the man had the first block on the previous play at the point of attack, and then Morrell read that and turned upfield and got the key one on the linebacker to spring Burt. So 2 outstanding blocks on the previous play.
Boy, this would be a big drive here for the Eagles if they can get it down the field and put some points on the board.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I still say the key is to get him down deep and try to hold him there. You know, if you get points, fine, but at least
play action,
trouble.
And it's going to be intercepted. Cooper intercepted it back at the 11-yard line. The guy that ended the 52-yard run a moment ago comes up with a big play on defense, and Weinhardt kind of let that one sail a little bit on it.
Yep, I tell you what's so hard when he's a left-hander, southpaw, and he's running to the right. Has to turn back with his body. Watch how he does it, and he really doesn't have good control. See, he almost winds up throwing off the wrong foot as a result. That's a tough pass for a left-hander to go to the right and then just get the ball up in the air. And the worst part is get it up in the air right in the middle of the field where there's going to be all kinds of traffic. And that's the traffic he wanted to avoid, most importantly.
And Cooper able just to kind of play center field back there.
Corus Cooper, one of those sophomores that's going to be a real outstanding player defensively and offensively.
Oh, here goes Redmond. A cut back at the 40, still on his feet. We know he can break tackles, and he stepped out of bounds over at the 42-yard line.
He's got that good dead step, doesn't he? That one where you just, boop, give him the dead foot, and then as they go flying by, you're able to make the move and come back to the inside. Watch how slow he goes until he sees the hole. Then he explodes right upfield. Then watch the dead foot. Here it comes right about there. Boom. Stop. Let them go. He might have been out of bounds, was he?
He was right there.
But in any event, you see the defenders go flying by, and he picks up on another 5 had he not been out of bounds.
Well, Isaac Redmond is some kind of talent, and you know Glenn Howard is just drooling at the fact that he's only a sophomore.
Yep.
Third down, Paulsboro hasn't hit any, 0 for 0.
First down and 10. Mendenhall in motion and resets on the near sideline. They give it to the upback this time, and he's got running room all the way into West Deptford territory to the 45-yard line. Dave Paterna.
Yeah, Paterna read the play at the line of scrimmage perfectly, didn't he? As we see an injured player down for, but watch, that play was designed to go inside, but the block was made by Joe Tropia, number 54, back to the inside, so he goes to the outside. So their backs are taught, Redmond, Paterna, they are taught to get to the line of scrimmage, read the block, go right or left, depending on which way the offensive lineman wants to take the defender. The old veer offense.
Have an injured Red Raider at the Paulsboro 44-yard line with the crowd unable to ascertain who it is. There you have a good shot, number 59.
Is that Esposito?
Anthony Esposito, 6'1", 325 pounds, the big guy up front. And he is grimacing in some pain.
Update first downs. 4-4.
With the injury on the field, we'll take a timeout. 10-11 left until halftime here in West Deptford, and right now Paulsboro in control, 13-0. Anthony Esposito off the field on the sidelines and went off under his own power, limping a little bit. Maybe he turned an ankle in the pile there or something.
He'll be back in soon.
Yeah, I don't think in a game like this you're going to keep a guy that big on the sidelines very long.
Yeah.
First and 10 now for the Red Raiders. Mendenhall goes in motion to the far side this time. And right up the middle. Paterna again, and he is hit and drop right at the line of scrimmage.
All right, that's the option series that Paulsboro likes to run as we see a real late penalty flag. Got to be some kind of unsportsmanlike at that point, wouldn't you think? And the flag is up that late. But Howard will run different series. That's an option series. Delay?
Let's get the call here from Al Shoup. Let's see if he can clarify.
Dead ball foul. Delay on the offense.
I guess they refused to get up, huh? Stayed down on the ball, or one of the blockers completed his block and didn't want to let the defender up. Boy, that is a strange call, huh? I thought it was maybe cross my heart, hope to die. I don't know what to call. I'm not sure what it was.
Things getting a little chippy between these two teams out there. Maybe somebody flipping the ball at another player or something.
No, their emotions run high when these two clubs get together.
On second down, play action. Webster looking to throw under a little pressure. Scrambling, and now it's going to run it to the left side. Brought down at about the 42-yard line. Bill Harker, one of the linebackers, in on the tackle for West Deptford.
Yeah, Webster, I think, made the right read that time.
It is now 3rd and 5.
Had a beautiful fake, did Webster, to start the play. Had everybody frozen, but his receivers really went down and turned at a particular spot no matter where the defenders were. The defenders were right with them, so Webster could not let go of the football and made the right call to pick it up and run.
3rd down and 5 now for the Red Raiders. 8.5 minutes left until the intermission. Webster drops back, goes over the middle, and it falls incomplete. Would have been short of a first down anyhow. And that will bring up 4th.
Good defensive play made that time by Justin O'Neill and by Chris Cooper.
James Funk comes on to punt it away for the Red Raiders, and Bob Weinhardt heads back deep.
He better be real deep. This is one you don't want to retreat beyond the 10, but Funk has the ability to put it in the end zone from here.
And Weinhardt with his heels on the 10, and I'm sure Clyde Folsom told him, don't back up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a little fake punt. Funk's going to run with it. He will have the first down across the 35 to the 30, and that's where he is shoved out of bounds by Ron Mancuso, the backup quarterback, who's also the punter and the field goal kicker. Comes up with a big play, and Glenn Howard a little trickery.
Yeah, special teams, so important. Here, you always have somebody has outside leverage. Look right here, Cooper. Coming in, you're supposed to be the outside guy. Number 87, your job is not to do anything till you're sure a man is stepping to punt the football. You must maintain your inside shoulder so the man is inside that. He gave him his outside shoulder. Funk, therefore, had to move. There's nobody there to recover to deny him the first down.
You've got to wonder then if that was a called play by Howard or just a good read by Funk.
Yeah, I think it was called.
Redmond into the pile, loses the football. A scramble at the 30-yard line, and it's West Deptford football. The Eagles come up with a second turnover of the night.
And a key play, because this keeps them alive. As look who comes up with it. Chris Cooper had the problem on the previous play. Now he redeems himself, doesn't he?
Well, he didn't wait long to make up for that, did he?
That'll make him feel a lot better. I don't feel so badly now as we watch this good hit. Feel so badly about identifying him. You hate to do that, you know, on a previous play, but it's okay now that he comes up with the big play. Boom, get your shoulder pads in there. Get on top of that ball. Great play by Cooper.
First down for the Eagles. They give it to Burt. Burt to the 32.
Yeah, why not go back to it? That's the one that Burt on the previous drive made the long 52-yard run. So they write that one down in the press box where they're calling plays and getting them down to head coach Folsom, who relays them into the field.
0 for 1.
So we'll try it again, they say.
0 for 1, 0 for 4. Yeah, that was Paulsboro that had
On second down, a quick slant pattern to Cooper. He's caught it at the 45. Turns upfield. Look at the speed. 30, 20, 10. He is caught and dragged down at the 2-yard line. Chris Cooper, after making the mistake on punt coverage, has come up with 2 big plays in the last 3.
I even feel better now that we identified him making that error, because now he really gets even greater accolades for, as you point out, coming up with the 2 big plays. But the big thing in here is for a tight end to show the explosive speed that he gets. Look, rifles the ball right in. Look at him turn it on. These are not slow defensive backs, and he's actually opening it up on him, and then maybe runs out of a little bit of gas down around the 2-yard line. But hey, they get it here. This is a touchdown attributed to the outstanding play of Cooper.
The senior came within a yard of his second touchdown of the year. They give it to Holmes, bouncing it to the outside and turned away by a Red Raiders pile.
Tommy Curl, 68. Right there along with Lionel Sharper, number 9, coming up big. But Curl just submarined inside there, saw where Holmes was coming, and wanted to stand him up straight so that Sharper could come along and deny him any further yardage. Watch, here we come. Here comes Curl over. Okay, there's the play made by Sharper at the bottom and Curl at the top.
Well, you're not going to get a lot up the middle against the Red Raiders. Over 700 pounds of beef between the tackles. Weinhardt a little fake, and that didn't fool anybody either, as he got turned back at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, this is when the no problem here at all. Weinhardt turns. Good fake with Holmes, but look, he withdraws right away to try and throw a block. And Sharper, remember we talked about having outside leverage with Cooper? That time Sharper has the outside responsibility for Paulsboro. And he plays it perfectly. Just comes in, turns, waits. If it comes to me, fine. If not, I've done my job anyway.
3rd down and goal. Play action. Weinhardt under pressure, and he is going to be dragged down and sacked all the way back at the 12-yard line, and none other than Lionel Sharper getting the sack.
47 tackles coming into the night's game. 32 of those unassisted. And a junior just reads so well, maintains his position. He's got him. Get to the outside. Grab him now. Don't let him turn and then toss him out of bounds. Goodness, it was so promising, was it not? So promising till Sharper made 2 nice plays in a row, following the first play where Holmes was denied on the plunge.
They had 1st and goal from the 1. It is now 4th and goal from the 14-yard line. Play action, going right side. Pass over the middle, and it's over his head and incomplete. Intended for Damon McWhite, the junior fullback. And the Red Raider defense turns the Eagles away. On a 1st down and goal from the 1, West Deptford gets nothing.
Folsom takes a long look and wonders what went wrong here. Talks to his quarterback, tries to maintain composure, does not want him getting upset. They've got to get him back into this position as the game progresses, so you can't be just losing it here on the sideline if you're a coach. But in your own head, you start to say, let me review the play calls we had. Where did we go wrong? What did we do in terms of our selection that just didn't work out? I think what they got to realize is Paulsboro's defense was out there. That's what made it not work out.
Here's Redmond to the sideline, turns on the speed to get to the corner, and he is out of bounds. All the way back at the 42-yard line, and a penalty flag in again very late.
Add 15 yards for an unsportsmanlike, unnecessary roughness. But watch again. Remember, he tiptoes till he sees the opening, then he explodes. Whoa, real nice job done by Lonnie Hampton on the outside block, number 2. And then what happens here? Is it face mask? Let's see. 1, 2.
I think they're going to call a late hit.
Yeah.
I believe the whistle had blown as Okai had dragged him out of bounds back at the 42.
Okay, Okai did it, huh? We've been waiting all night for that, haven't we? Okay, Okai.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, defense.
Another 15 yards, and I'll tell you what, the credit to Al Shoup and company, they have not let any play get out of hand.
Right.
And I guess when you come into a game like this with big rivalries and high emotions, that can happen very quickly.
Yeah, and it's a South Jersey crew. They're well aware of the history of this contest. Look at this, 4 for 45. 6 penalties altogether in the ball game. But the 2 there on West Deptford, especially this one, is a key.
Webster, a little pass over the middle to Mendenhall. Got it caught at the 30-yard line, down to the 27.
Now, that's a play that they read upstairs. They saw there was no linebacker sitting there at all. So this is an easy one. Just take the ball, quarterback Webster. Step back and look up. No linebacker, nobody there to cover it all. He has to be wide open, and Mendenhall is. And he gets to 10, 12, 14 yards on that play. Boy, that's one that coaches spot upstairs. Some kind of defensive adjustment the Eagles were making that wasn't proper. Nobody covering the tight end.
Mendenhall's 13th catch of the year. He can do it both ways. Redmond spun to the line of scrimmage, and a great job being wrapped up that time by the defensive end, Justin O'Neill.
Second and 10.
Clock rolling up on 4 minutes left here until halftime.
Now take the 85-yard runaway, which you can't, but just suppose, and have West Deptford score after they get the ball on the 1. Instead of 13-0 and Paulsboro looking at a possible third score with 4 minutes left in the first half, to go up to a 19 or 20 point to nothing lead, it could be 7-7. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I think we talked about that earlier, did we not? But they're the things that coaches will talk about at halftime, briefly. But the coaches from West Deptford are hoping that they only have to talk about the 13 points. Because if it gets to 3 here, I'm not sure too many of the Eagles will be listening to this fine coaching staff during the halftime speech.
Play action. Webster not a lot of running room. Good job defending the option that time by the Eagles.
Yeah, that play just never had a chance, did it? Everybody got to the right spot, and they didn't allow it to be strung out. And as a result, Webster could not turn up, and there was no point in tossing it. There was no room that time for Redmond. This becomes a key play for West Deptford in this ball game. Got to just stop them. I mean, they can keep everything in front of them. 12 yards to go for the first down, so they can keep the play in front of them. And then they want to have maybe a 4th and 7, 4th and 8, and deny them and get that football back. So this is a big moment right now for West Deptford Eagles.
Saw the numbers a moment ago. Not a third down conversion tonight. A little screen pass right over the middle. Another penalty flag flies in. Pass caught by Lionel Sharper, but he will be short of the first down.
Well, if they had their eyes wide open, this should be illegal men downfield. This one should hurt Paulsboro. That's what I saw. I don't know. It looks like there should be a loss of down plus the penalty, right? The illegal receiver? Yep.
See Brett Holmes there for the Eagles. Just ready to relay to the coach what the exact conversation is.
He's dropping.
Now big Jason Morrell in there as well. You got to wonder what Glenn Howard's thinking now. I mean, he's up 13 points and possibly 3 scores, but they've not taken control of this game like you might have thought they could have.
Well, they've got control of everything but the points. Don't have enough right now. This was a key one that they wanted. So they'll bring it back. There will not be a loss of down. I'm incorrect again. Twice since 1957.
Ineligible player downfield on the offense. Replay third down.
Yep. What is it? Intentional grounding is the only time you have the loss of down. But yeah, you can't see them. He wasn't the one, Esposito, but they were down even further down. There's one coming in, number 50, a lineman.
Number 50, that's the center, Billy Damas.
Yep, Damas doesn't want to get down that far.
Webster drops back, looking deep. Going to go a screen back over the middle to Redmond. Redmond spins out of one tackle and is pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and another penalty flag flies in.
Will Clyde Folsom want to just Well, who knows what I want to do, but if this is a hit and out of bounds, after they stopped him here, denied him the first down, would be, oh, Folsom, you just knew this was going to happen. He'd coming out and saying, what are you guys doing? He can't be upset at the officials. He's upset at his players. That's just not a smart play at all. We're assuming it's against West Deptford. Face mask. Mm-hmm. Yeah, long talk here to make a decision if this is really a... It's a biggie. It's a biggie.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
Let's take a look and see if we can see the infraction as it happened.
Redmond just stops, gets to the outside with that twist, and then, oh my, yes sir, they got him. Defensive back comes up there and just grabs him and twists him and throws him down.
Pitch to Redmond, trying to get to the sidelines and no room.
Now, the one thing they get out of that play is they do get the clock stopped at 2:07.
No, it's second.
West Deptford at this point is playing a game against the clock to try and keep them out of the end zone. We know at the very least, if they're able to hold them for 3 downs, you know Funk will come in here and try a field goal. He can bat him in from the 30, 35-yard line.
2:07 left to the intermission. Paulsboro up by 13 and threatening to go up 3 scores.
Look at the reverse.
Second down, a little end around. One broken tackle and another great job wrapped up at the ankles by Chris Cooper. And another penalty flag comes in late. Karis Cooper, the ball carrier.
I think we've seen more late flags tonight than ever, but they're calling them right. They're calling the plays as they see them. The block below the waist, illegal block. Got to move him back here. Doesn't matter what the situation would be. Even though you're giving him another down to do it, you got to move him back, I think. Get some room. Keep everybody in front of you.
Block them below the waist on the offense.
Now, see, you can do that inside the ends, but anything outside the ends, you can't do that. And a lot of players just forget and come out there and see a beautiful target that's very inviting and bam, trying to cut them right out from under. You can't do it. That's the way the knees go. Remember how many times we tell you the knee was not constructed for football, unfortunately. They do
Clock
everything.
rolls under 2 minutes now.
They do everything they can to protect you. And that's one of the penalties put in a few years back for that purpose.
Webster to throw on second down. Going deep, has a man, and it is caught in the end zone. Touchdown for Paulsboro. Dave Giles, the wide receiver.
23 yard reception.
Well, we know what kind of disaster that is for West Deptford. What a benefit it is for Paulsboro. 22-yard TD pass.
The Red Raiders call a timeout. Giles makes the touchdown catch with just 1:33 left until halftime, and certainly not a backbreaker to this point in the contest, but at the same time, it makes it very difficult for West Deptford to get into it. See Webster with the pass. And a nice catch there by Giles.
Just snuck behind everybody, didn't he? Wow. Defenders may have gotten picked off. Giles maintained his concentration, comes up with the catch. A real big crowd here tonight. It was a late arriving crowd. And they have really now lost a little bit of the luster, haven't they, here? 19-0, a chance to go to 20. Or 21. They go for 2. Going to go for the 2.
The Red Raiders will try and convert and make it 21 here. Webster looking for a pass. Can't find anything under pressure at the last minute. Comes up with it. Mike Mendenhall makes the catch in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And it is now 21-0 in favor of Paulsboro. And this has been an interesting game because some statistics we're going to look at halftime, you're going to say, well, yeah, Paulsboro should be up 21-0. But when you look back at some of the events that take place and the sequence in which they happen, it really could be a lot closer.
Now, this is a game that, as we see Mendenhall just wind up being wide open. The reason for that is all that time that Webster had nobody near Mendenhall at all except his own man who shows up there. Also, Lonnie Hampton. But look at the time that Webster has. Look at the blocking. And now he just steps away from Morrell and then finds himself wide open. He had his choice, didn't he? Could have gone to Hampton or Mendenhall.
Lonnie Hampton coming in, probably a good thing he was a little bit late getting there. May have had a collision and nobody come up with it.
Yep, he feels comfortable now, able to take the helmet off. Tell you, there's been so many good plays for West Deptford in the ball game, but for naught, all for naught. The kind of game that a coach could cut up and edit in a film either way he wanted, to make them look really good or make them look like a demonstration of everything you shouldn't do in a football game. Up like that, catches the ball but has both knees down and as a result cannot advance it. Instead of picking up the 10 to 15 yards of open space he had in front of him, they wind up finding themselves at the 10-yard line.
Fred Burt coming up to take the low line drive kick.
Nice catch. Unfortunately, you can't do it.
The Eagles will have 91 seconds with which to work before halftime.
The work at this point should be make sure it doesn't go higher than 21. And hope Paulsboro doesn't expend timeouts to try and get it back again.
They give it to Holmes right up the middle across the 15. Now, if you're Clyde Folsom, I give it to number 4. Maybe you get lucky and he breaks one. But just tell him whatever you do, hang on to the football.
Some quality players out here in both squads. Folsom has some real good ones and guys that have really donated and contributed over the last 3 seasons. And, you know, this is not the way they had it planned to go to halftime at 21-0. Look at this.
Reinhardt going to pass, and it falls incomplete. Right there was Preston Paulson.
Yeah.
Picked it off.
2 negatives there. One, you're taking a chance having it picked off or having yourself tackled for a loss in the backfield. The second one is you stop the clock. Now 56 seconds to go, and it's 3rd down already. Paulsboro, even if they wanted to try and deny you, does not have to burn a timeout to stop the clock either. And do you sense that if it goes to 4th down, if the clock is stopped either by Paulsboro calling a timeout or West Deptford trying to throw it again, that they'll try and have somebody back this time to catch the punt?
And we're not even going to see it this play because of another penalty flag.
Yeah, well, that's a dead ball, so.
Dead ball foul. Ball start. Offense.
Has not been the cleanest of first halves.
No, look at the frustration and the sigh. Exasperation. Coach just says to himself, what am I supposed to do? We had the game plan, witnessed the good plays that we came up with. Defensively, we certainly knew what we wanted to do, and every time we seemed to stop them, we just add 15 yards to their total.
Third down. They give to Burt. And he's got some running room. Gives him some breathing room out to the 25. Remove the chains for the Eagles with 45 seconds left until halftime.
They'll wind the clock and start it, but West Deptford's going to have to run at least one more. Boy, they're in a hurry too, aren't they? Not looking to run it out.
And they've had some big plays, so certainly the Eagles can strike from this far out. Going to go up for Cooper down the sidelines, and it's going to be picked off. No, incomplete, out of bounds. Brian Webster almost got the ball back for his offense.
Now that's what we talked about in terms of throwing the ball in this situation where you have the great, he only needs the one, doesn't he? I think he's in bounds, but then what do I know?
Let's get a look here down the line.
There he comes, right foot.
Right there.
Oh, it's only about 8 inches in, so. But that's what we talked about in terms of the errors that you could make in this situation with the great speed and explosiveness of Paulsboro. Give them the ball. They're capable of scoring from anywhere on the field.
Webster, the free safety, also the quarterback, almost got another shot. A little delayed handoff that time, going around the back of Brett Holmes.
Well, if I'm the Eagles, I'm going to the huddle and say, how far to the locker room? I'm not going to run another one.
It's now third.
The clock winding down, 10 seconds. Weinhardt hustles in from the sidelines as if they're going to try and get one more off.
3 seconds now.
Yeah.
Clock with 1 second off, and they're not going to do it. I really honestly think the way he came in from the sidelines, they wanted to get another playoff and just could not get it done. Halftime here in West Deptford, New Jersey. It's Colonial Conference showdown between Paulsboro and West Deptford, and right now the Red Raiders in control of this one, leading 21-0 as we go to the intermission. Halftime here in West Deptford, New Jersey, and the homestanding Eagles on the short end of a 21-0 deficit to their arch rival, the Red Raiders of Paulsboro. And Mike, this really, Paulsboro has had all the big plays.
And this is not a big one. This is a big one score-wise, but Isaac Redmond just tiptoes here following the block of Dave Paterna with 7:50 remaining to play in the first period. And Funk's kick, they're out to a 7-0. But watch this play by Redmond. Looks like this is going to be maybe 1 or 2 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th guy, the 6th guy that grabs a hold. And here comes Redmond. 85 big yards. He will score. He will not fall down. He's tired. He ought to be. But the other guys are looking on with amazement.
He was exhausted at midfield.
Yeah, and as Redmond continues to shine big there, still in the first period, the kick was missed. They were up 13-0.
Well, and actually, Redmond actually set this play up a little bit for the intended receiver, Giles.
Yeah, everybody goes to Redmond. Giles just sneaks in behind them, gets the ball, keeps his eyes on it. Great concentration. 2-point conversion pass to Mike Mendenhall, and at halftime, it's 21-0. The Red Raiders on top.
As we take a look at the numbers here at halftime, you see the score 21-0, and it's big in favor of Paulsboro. You take away the 85-yard run here for Redmond, and statistically, this game is actually rather even. 5 penalties apiece, the big difference is when they're happening.
Yep, and that's exactly the point, because what you got to do with West Deptford at halftime in the locker room, one big word, frustration, because this is a game in which they could be sitting there 0-0 or 7-7. Instead, wrong plays at the wrong time, 21-0.
All right, halftime. When we come back, we will have the start of the third quarter here in West Deptford, New Jersey on a very cold night. The Eagles need to get that offense warmed up. They're trailing by 21 at the half. Now West Deptford deferred in the opening coin toss, so they will get the football to start the second half here in West Deptford, New Jersey, and that obviously is the first big thing going in their favor to start the second half if they hope to get back into the football game.
Well, they'd love to get a good return, wouldn't they? Remember, Funk has a good foot, and for Paulsboro and get it deep, but West Deptford would like to get a good return, good field position. More importantly, you're absolutely right. They're thinking score on first drive. Paulsboro, on the other hand, says, hey, it's 21-0. We do not want them to score. We want the ball back, and we want to get the clincher, make it 28-0 if they get the extra point, and just maybe then just close out the ball game. So this is a key for West Deptford, looking for the return and good field position. They want to use the whole playbook. They want to get some good running going as they make the adjustments that they've been told about by the coaches at halftime to allow their quarterback, Bob Weinhardt, to have a little time and get those defenders playing a little looser so they can get some open receivers. But this guy is the key with that foot that he has.
James Funk, the backup quarterback, very strong, kicking to West Deptford. Their starting quarterback back deep among a trio of receivers, along with Jamie Gonzalez and Brett Holmes. And Funk drills it off Reinhardt, about a yard deep in the end zone. And in high school football, that is an automatic touchback. And boy, what a weapon James Funk becomes. You eliminate the return.
Yeah, and the other thing with that ability to kick, they get into the red zone at all, it's almost always points. If they're not going to get a TD, they're going to get 3, or at least a good shot at the 3. He has really done a job on the kickoffs, has he not?
Yeah. Kickoffs from the returns beginning from the 3, the 5, and the 10, and this one obviously the touchback.
Well, that's where he kicked them to, right?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And a rare commodity in high school football. You don't find a lot of kickers that can put it that deep on a kickoff. Straight forward and nowhere.
Yeah, you wonder what the coaches tell them at halftime, down 21-0, and to a degree, it's probably first challenge. Where's our pride? This is not the way we intended to go out for the season. Remember, this is our final game. So when they do that, if they do the old challenge them with the pride, that's when you come out and you go straight ahead football, and you say it's man on man. It's now up to me to handle the guy that's playing opposite me. Well, that time, they got a couple of yards out of it. They need a couple more than that each time.
Weinhardt rolling left, has a man intended for Cooper, incomplete. It is senior night here in West Deptford, so Clyde Folsom able to challenge these guys on their last high school football game. Weinhardt, the quarterback, Holmes, the running back, both seniors.
And truth be told, for most of them, the seniors, it's their final football game, organized football totally. Most of these guys will not be going on to play college football. You know, you don't want to, the old statement, you don't want to leave it on the field. You don't want to, well, you do want to leave. You want to leave everything you got out there. I'll get it right sooner or later. The fact of the matter is, you got to give it all.
Weinhardt going to throw over the middle. Nice catch that time by the fullback. Damon McWhite, the junior, able to hang on and hit as soon as he caught the football.
Yeah, and they pick up the first down, keep their drive alive. On the previous play, you know, Cooper was open. He just made his cut a little too soon, or Weinhardt dropped too deep. It was actually a 3-step, and he took 5 or 6. That time, same thing happens as McWhite is open, and again, quarterback Weinhardt actually dropped too far. Should have been a 3. Oh, they got movement. That's going to cost them 5. Their left guard, left tackle, jump left side of the offensive line. But you know, you got to have that coordinated. If it's a 3-step drop, that's what you got to do. Instead, it gives the defenders a chance to close on the receiver who have been wide open in both cases.
Dead ball foul. False start. Offense.
Al Shoup, our referee, giving us the call on the 6th penalty of the night against the Eagles. And this one of the first ones that they've had that's not been a crucial drive-killing penalty.
Dan Weinhardt bringing the play into Bob Weinhardt on the sideline.
Down in 15. They give it to Gonzalez, who breaks a couple of tackles and gets out to the 27, 28-yard line.
Now, how happy you've got to be as a defensive coach or a head coach to have somebody like Mike Mendenhall out there. When you can have a defensive end, as he did early in the ball game, we talked about a play that he strung out to the sideline until help came. He just did it again. Mendenhall is just showing us how you play defensive end. This is a real player.
Mike Mendenhall came into the game with 83 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, and 3 sacks. Holmes falls forward across the 30 to the 33. And you got the feeling from that play he might have gotten a couple more, but couldn't get his feet up underneath it.
Yeah, you'd like to see Holmes come up with another big run and maybe get him down near the end zone or get into it himself, because with the career that he's had here, you don't want to see his final game lost in the shadow of a 21-0 defeat, huh? Brett Holmes just deserves the recognition of the people in this area and even outside the area as one of the finer players in South Jersey. And he's done it over a couple of 3 seasons.
3rd down and 9. Play action. Weinhardt puts it on his hip. Looking downfield for a man, and that goes incomplete. I think he was trying to find Damon McQuiet again and is unable to make the connection.
Yeah, with the speed and the adjustment ability of Paulsboro, that's a very, very difficult pass to complete. You're just taking so much time. They are so quick. They can react and get to the receivers in such a hurry. There's nobody left by the time you're ready to throw. There's nobody left open. And Weinhardt has to have that told to him on the sideline. You're going to have to go with those 3-step drop passes.
A telling tale tonight for the Eagles, 0 for 6 on third down conversions. That and untimely penalties will really cost you. This time, Paulsboro has a man back deep. A short kick bounces at the 45. We'll roll another 6 yards down to the 39-yard line, and that's where Paulsboro will take over on offense. 9:13 left in the third quarter. The Red Raiders come out for the first time on offense here in the second half, leading it 21-0. 9:13 in the third quarter. Paulsboro up by 3 scores and looking to make it 4 and shut the door here on this contest. Webster going to go deep. They're going to look to do it in a hurry. He's got Giles, and it's caught at the 20 and brought down at the 12-yard line. Chris Cooper on the coverage, but the damage has been done.
Had that play early in the ballgame, didn't we? Remember, Giles turned the wrong way, or didn't think that Webster, I think is the way we put it, didn't think that Webster had the ability to air it out and get that distance. This is going to go for naught, as we'll have a holding penalty against Paulsboro. But fascinating, isn't it? They probably told him, hey, Giles, you gave up on Webster in that first quarter when we ran this play. This time, turn the Jets on. He'll get the ball to you. And he ran right under it and makes the completion. So, it doesn't help him here, but they'll remember, at least Giles will, that he can use that speed, and Webster has the arm to get it to him.
Holding offense.
Unfortunate penalty. One of the first times that Paulsboro has made that mistake tonight to negate a big play.
Yep.
Webster has certainly shown the ability to throw the football down the field. You see his numbers there. 70 yards, 5 of 9. The touchdown pass to Giles in the first half. Little play action. Looks like they're going to do it again. This time he's going to go short over the middle, and it's intercepted by West Deptford. Fred Burt comes up from the defensive back position to make the big play for the Eagles.
Well, Burt's had one real good offensive play, a 52-yard run in the first half. Now he comes up with a big defensive play. And the most important thing here, besides stopping Paulsboro on their drive here to start their offensive sequence of the second half, is to get the good field position for the Eagles, to give them a shot to maybe get into the end zone and convince themselves that they still have the ability to come back and get this ball game. Read that one well, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and he'll get the handoff on the first play. Runs through a couple of tackles to about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's what you need, 7 or 8 yards on a first down play. Howard not too happy as Paulsboro comes up with their 3rd turnover for a team that's winning 21-0, who have turned it over 3 times to the opponents just once.
That's one of the statistics we mentioned at halftime about you can't tell the score of the football game by those numbers. 8:10 remaining here in the third quarter. Holmes straight forward across the 25 to the 24.
Now this is the way those 2 plays are the way you think they would have responded to the halftime exhorting of the coach to play with pride.
They got a lot going for the Eagles. Playing on their home turf, defending their home turf, trying to get a 2-game winning streak going.
Yep.
Against the Red Raiders. Senior night. Pretty good crowd, late arriving crowd here tonight.
Whoa, that won't help. That won't help.
Introduced to the Red Raider defense very rudely.
Yep. Joe Tropia, number 54, makes his first unassisted tackle of the evening. He makes it with authority. So many great teams down through the years. Hard to believe that, You know what? Last year was the first time since '91 that Paulsboro did not win the South Jersey Group 1 championship. A lot of, they've won it more than, in some cases, a total group of teams in a conference have been to the finals.
Reinhardt going to throw right over the middle, intended for Cooper, and a little low and out of his reach.
Yeah, and he's wide open on that play. Well executed toss that time, and West Deptford's in the end zone. Doesn't really wait and get a good look, and the ball wobbling a little too much, but he had his man beat. He's going to get that in. Nice move to the outside, got the defensive back to commit to the inside, and the ball just doesn't get there.
Cooper's been open a couple of times on quick patterns like that tonight. And there's Jamie Gonzalez right up the middle, and he gets down close to the 10-yard line.
Well-designed play that time, inside reverse coming back. They've tried that a number of times. Teams will try that where they will run the man deep, but this reverse to the inside, and therefore you get the real nice block thrown. Excellent job by Damon McWhite, who was in there at fullback to lead Gonzalez and pick up another first down, keep the drive alive.
First down and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. Reinhardt going to pull it down. Turn up field.
Oh, my.
And some heavy collisions over on the sideline.
I thought that was a late hit. We didn't have a real good angle. Apparently it was not out of bounds yet, and we did hear the whistle after the hit. So, well, it seems to me they've been there before, haven't they? One other time they were down this close, following a long pass and run with Cooper not quite making it to the end zone, and they were denied that time. Let's see if they can get the 6 or 7 points on this series.
Second down, ball spotted just inside the 5. They give it to Gonzalez, and he has tripped up and brought to the ground that time Tom Curl. How many times have we called his name tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, Curl stops him at the end, but Mendenhall was underneath and reached up and I think made the initial stop as he grabbed him. So Mendenhall and Curl, a couple of wrestlers / football players.
Third down coming up here for the Eagles. They need inside the 1 for a first down. Reinhardt under pressure and brought down back at the 15-yard line. Terrific play by Preston Paulson. The junior cornerback comes up to make the play.
Well, he had the freedom to come on that defensive scheme. They were rotated in that direction, which brought the cornerback up and gave him the release point so that he can come as motion comes in his direction. And Paulson wasted no time at all in reacting and getting to the football, making the stop. Well, they've got lots of room to the right side. You think they'd roll in that direction, but remember, we've got a left-handed quarterback and how much difficulty he's had coming back throwing the ball when moving to the right.
Straight drop back fade pattern intended for Cooper, and it falls incomplete. Good coverage on the play that time, and Cooper unable to come up with the catch, and the Red Raiders will take over on downs.
Well, 2 opportunities inside the 10, and that one just outside the 10, but really down in that area, and coming up with zip, 0, nada.
You're not going to win too many football games against a good squad like Paulsboro not being able to finish in the red zone.
Now, got to do it.
Saw Clyde Folsom talking things over with his quarterback, trying to get the problems worked out. They've had their opportunities and to this point have not been able to take advantage. Paulsboro first down and 10.
And the predictable thing is now what? Redmond goes 90.
The handoff, a spin move and a juke, and he's out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he can't go. He can no longer go 90, can he? That looked as harmless as the one he went 85 on. And then, maybe he could break away. He just has such nice blocking up front. Everybody's got a man. Put a shoulder to him. Open the gap. Redmond tiptoe till he reads it. And then get as much as he can out of it.
Jack Eck brought him down that time. It'll be second down and about 1. Guess who? Out to the 30.
You know what you like about him? Not only is he able to get that good speed and explosiveness, but he's a pretty good power runner too. And I think that's why we talked about his size. You know, with 185 pounds as a sophomore, he can get in there and bang. I mean, look how the defender has to just go backwards. That's a good shoulder hit by Bill Harker, number 40, but he still falls backwards as Redmond's momentum and power drives him in that direction.
167.
Not a bad night.
And more than half on one run.
About 14 yards a carry.
Here's again, tries to turn to the inside that time and can't run out of the tackle.
The name's Kevin Harvey with 101 TDs in his high school career. Means something to you. He's a former great star at Paulsboro, and he's Isaac Redmond's cousin. Also told Sean Redmond. Let's see, they're just don't know where to go, do they? Leave go. Did he get his shoe? He got his shoe. Yeah, he can talk about that in the future. 20 years from now, assuming Redmond continues in his direction, he can say, one night I got Redmond's shoe. Huh? Yeah.
And then
that'll be a memory.
The player threw it down for a few minutes. Redmond couldn't find it. He was walking around in circles looking for the other cleat.
But anyway, Sean Redmond, who played at Glassboro a number of years ago, his other cousin went on to a fine career at Penn State. He, until Harvey came along, was probably the leading runner in a decade or so in South Jersey. So great bloodlines here, and certainly has done nothing this year to disappoint.
And Jason Morrell left the field for West Deptford a moment ago. A little blood showing that had to be tended to.
Yeah.
Now, with Isaac Redmond, you know that the genes will not be a problem in that family. Second down, Webster throwing deep, looking for Giles, and overthrows him.
Yeah, we thought we'd see Webster alternating with Funk quite a bit from what we had been told in our preparation for the ball game tonight. But hey, it's been Webster all the way, and understandably so, huh?
Yeah. Well, you look at the numbers on Funk too. He's coming. He's attempted 18 passes or completed 18 passes, 8 touchdowns. He actually has 2 more touchdown passes than Webster does.
Yeah, in 46 attempts, 8 TD passes. I can't do that math.
Webster drops back. I'm going to heave it long again. It is caught. Is it inbounds? Yes, indeed. All the way down to the 31-yard line, Karis Cooper.
Yeah, let me tell you, this is frightening. You get a guy like Karis Cooper, doesn't see that much playing time. Sophomore, he'd be a starter on any team, 75-80% of the teams in South Jersey. He just has such good talent, and he's got to work on it and develop it and keep pushing and pushing and pushing till he gets his shot at more play full time. But Karis Cooper, along with Isaac Redmond, 2 of the finer sophomores, skilled players in South Jersey.
It was hard to tell from the replay, but it looked a little bit like he may have brought that down with one hand.
That wouldn't surprise me.
See the first downs, and another penalty flag comes in before we can get this one started. 10-8, Paulsboro not really dominating the first down category.
I think this is reffing tonight.
Dead ball foul. False start. Offense.
Is that the president from West Wing? Huh? Yeah, at least
Al Shoup, Martin Sheen.
Yeah, the one. Yeah. The one thing about West Wing, at least, is a president, huh?
Well, we still have a president. We just don't know who the next one's going to be.
There you go.
2:27 and clowning in the third quarter. $13 penalties for 125 yards between these two teams tonight. Webster under some pressure somehow got out of it.
Oh my.
Back to the original line of scrimmage and much more. Out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
We have a couple of guys hurt back here, by the way, that were both gone at each other. But first we'll watch this. How does he get away? How? Because they don't give up at Paulsboro. They continue to go. They just have seen so many plays like this throughout their childhood, right up through junior high school, and then in their turn to play, that they have this thing in Paulsboro that they will not be denied. last year. Such an uncharacteristic year for the Red Raiders, 6-4, and only making it into the opening round of the playoffs. It just was not the kind of football you expect to see out of Paulsboro, and this is the kind of stuff that you are used to seeing if you've been following this club for years.
We had a huge collision at the 35-yard line. Watch right here. Right there.
Oh, my.
44, Damon McWhite, and 59, Anthony Esposito. That is the irresistible force in the immovable object.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Esposito's head moved a little bit. Watch it. Ooh! Right on backwards that time. And so they're down on the, or at least he is still down.
And McWhite came up. And Esposito is still down on the ground, but I believe White was being tended to as well. Or McWhite, I should say, Damon McWhite. But Anthony Esposito, for the second time tonight, has been down out on the field. We believe earlier in the game he probably got his ankle rolled up on a little bit in a pile and was able to get up and off under his own power. But after that collision, he appeared to be in some pain.
And the way he looks right now, he probably treed another twisted ankle in lieu of whatever injury has occurred to him at this place.
Webster, solid night through the air, solid night on the ground as well. Almost 20 yards a carry. And on that last one, looked like he would be stopped for a significant loss in the backfield and was somehow able to shake through the coverage and get up for a solid gain.
Belief is such an important part of any sports, but particularly at the high school level. How much you believe counts. And in Paulsboro, it's belief. You know, they have a slogan down there, Paulsboro Pride. All over town, they have flags waving with that slogan on it, and the kids just grow up believing it. And if they're going to play football and they're going to wrestle, or they're going to do both. And over the years, the success is a storied one if you follow sports in South Jersey.
The players are going to be sent to the sidelines. You see the guys coming over for Paulsboro. Look at this, the South Jersey top 10. According to the Philadelphia Daily News, Paulsboro, you see there at number 5, very good possibility next week they meet the number 2 team, Glassboro.
Absolutely. Well, they're going to meet them. They will absolutely meet them in the South Jersey Group 1 final. What a collision that will be. Talk about a high-scoring club. Glassboro averaging over, are you ready, 48 points a ball game. And they're coming in against a club that shows the kind of defensive skills that Paulsboro does. Plus, these two teams have matched up over the last 10 to 15 years so many times at the playoff level. They know each other. They care deeply about what happens in that ball game. And you can bet that while Glassboro has a ball game tomorrow, we're taping this on a Friday night, they're playing a Saturday afternoon against a pretty good Gloucester team, trying to get their Tri-County Conference Classic Division Championship and wind up 10-0, as Paulsboro apparently is going to be. Can you imagine that one? What a game that'll be.
Now, a Gloucester County club has won the South Jersey Group 1 title for 14 years in a row. Looks like it will be 15. We're going to take a timeout with the injury. 2:02 left in the third quarter. Paulsboro leading this one 21-0. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter action. 2 minutes, 2 seconds left until the end of the quarter. 21-0. Paulsboro out in front, and they've got the football first down and 10. We'll give you an update on Anthony Esposito in just a moment. First down and 10. Webster straight ahead. Handoff down to the 10-yard line. Goes Dave Paterna.
Paterna doesn't get to run the ball much, but when he does, he gets some good yardage, doesn't he?
Let's go back for just a second and show you what happened to Anthony Esposito. You see the collision right in the middle of your screen there with Damon McWhite. We're not sure exactly what happened. Obviously, some very serious precautions being taken, but you can see him waving his hand, and that is terrific news for Anthony Esposito. Everybody at CN8 hoping that he is all right. He is loaded into an ambulance and being taken to a hospital for precautionary measures, but the movement is a very good sign.
Yeah, the other point as we watch Paterna run the ball again that we like to give is we had that shot from a number of angles that we looked at, and looking at it from another angle, there was no way McWhite could avoid that contact that he made. One angle people may say, look what he's happening there, but we had it from another angle, and the play just comes together at the wrong moment, in the wrong time, in the wrong place.
It's all happening so fast.
Yep.
And it's one of the unfortunate risks you take if you strap on the pads and get out there. Yep. That is always a possibility, and we certainly hope that young Anthony does all right. And Damon McWhite, you've got to wonder kind of what's going through his mind, as being a part of that and seeing what happened. First down and goal now. There's a fumble ball in the field, and it looked like Redmond able to get back to it. That'll bring up second down and goal for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, a lot of luster's gone out of this ball game at this point with the weight that both teams had. And that, I think, showed up on that play with maybe a loss of concentration by Redmond. Just didn't get the handle on the football, nearly turned it over to West Deptford. Now it looks like Paulsboro is going to be happy to let the quarter run out and just turn ends. And there they go with the 4 that they've raised, like so many teams, but in their case, they've meant it. The fourth quarter has so frequently been Paulsboro.
Glenn Howard, and we've got 4 quarters. We are coming into the fourth quarter in just a moment, and the Red Raiders leading this one by 3 touchdowns. "12 minutes of action remaining here between Paulsboro and West Deptford. Glenn Howard, as it would appear, looking to a 10-0 record if they can hang on here tonight in West Deptford and face a very likely showdown with Glassboro coming up in the finals. Very, very good contest that will be, but there is 1 quarter of business yet to be taken care of here. A little end around to Karis Cooper, and he gets down inside the 5-yard line.
And an
second and goal.
Exciting young guy to watch.
Boy, he shows a lot of speed,
doesn't he?
And that's really rare on this Paulsboro team.
Not too bad. Speed has been something they've always had, but just no place for him to play. How's he get in front of Redmond? But if he keeps working and working and working, they'll modify an offense, huh? Find a way to go with the 2 running backs as opposed to a fullback and a running back. But you got to earn it.
Third down and goal from inside the 5. Webster going to throw it, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for Mike Mendenhall that time. Webster unable to get it there, and now we'll bring up 4th down.
Chris Kroos, number 18, brings the play in from the sideline, and thought maybe we'd see a little attempted field goal here. You never know when you need it. Great to practice it in game situations.
And they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Webster back to pass again, going over the middle, and it falls incomplete, and the Eagles defense comes up, turns away the Red Raiders, and they take over on downs, deep in their own territory.
Now, just not as sharp as they had been earlier. And that was not the intensity that we had seen from Webster throughout the night on either of those 2 plays.
First down and 10 now for West Deptford at the far end of the football field from that angle. Kyle met at the line of scrimmage, not much going there.
Yes.
Folsom had hoped to see the club go deeper into the playoffs, and really think that they felt they matched up real well with Buna. I think disappointment would be the word as they came out of that playoff game, and then the hope to catch Paulsboro maybe looking ahead, which pretty tough to ever find Paulsboro looking ahead.
Here's Fred Burt with some running room. He is wrestled to the ground at about the 18-yard line. There have been a number of players for West Deptford to be able to come up and make plays. Burt's had some good runs. Gonzalez.
Yep.
Brett Holmes, obviously.
Holmes with a nice block. 4-on-4 that time. Number 4, Brett Holmes throws the block on Preston Paulson, and that's what released Burt downfield. Watch it again. And he comes upfield and just couldn't get the block he needed on Lionel Sharper to break it further.
Gonzalez loses a handle on the football, and the Red Raiders say they have recovered, and indeed they have.
Doesn't that kill you? Absolutely kill you. Yeah, I'll still say we looked at the stats and subtracted that long run away and said how even they were. Look what happens here. He's got it. Whoops, forgot the football.
And guess who comes up with it? Tom Curl.
Tom Curl. Curl's up on it. Look at it just slide right on out. You wonder when he'll look at this play over and over and try to figure how in the world, as he's shaking his head right now in exasperation, how in the world did that ball come out? There's still Paulsboro 3-2 in turnovers, but we said it when we watched looked at those halftime statistics that the word had to be frustration for West Deptford. That's just another example of it.
Webster going to pull it down and run with it, and he is popped pretty good at about the 15-yard line.
Okai makes the tackle. Was it all right if I made that call? It was probably what?
It was okay.
No, it was okay. Okay.
Let's take a listen to the hit here on this play. Kyle Mancuso, number 13, coming up to lay the hit there from his defensive back position, the sophomore. Get a pretty good whack on Mr. Webster. 2nd down and 7, coming up on 9.5 minutes left in this one. Again, Webster going to keep it. Penalty flag down at the 15-yard line.
Got to be a hold, huh?
We've had more than our fair share of penalties here this evening in South Jersey.
Holding offense.
Is that 13, 14 tonight?
15.
Wow.
Yep.
And again, it is 2nd down for Paulsboro. Well, fade pattern into the corner, going to go out of bounds. And Cuso with good coverage that time on Lionel Sharper.
Yeah, interestingly, if we had Sharper isolated, the wide receivers, when they come out, they read the coverage and they give a little hand signal to the quarterback just where they're going to run the pattern. And that time he wanted the fly pattern right to the corner. So he put his hand up, made a little mark, and as a result, Webster knew where he wanted the ball delivered and just didn't make the connection. Same way they read at the line of scrimmage, whether the man's going to take them left or right and they're going to run the opposite way. Their receivers also make some signals of where they want the ball delivered. Look at this.
For some even offense for you.
And as a result, it's 0-0 this half, right?
Into the locker room, 21-0, and they're at that point still with 9:10 left in the 4th quarter. Webster going down the middle, and that one falls incomplete. That one intended for Lonnie Hampton, 6'3", 190-pound senior.
Now, 4th down, I'd love to see him try that field goal. We're not going to get a chance to see it. We were so impressed, were we not, before the game when we were watching James Funk warming up, and he's got the ability. He can kick it from here. Not going to see it again, but
yeah, you've got to wonder. You mentioned earlier too, when you get down, if you're down 2 and you've got no time left and you're 30 yards away, you need a field goal. You're going to want to know if your guy can do it when it comes to game time.
Absolutely.
Completely different than practice.
We know he can do it in practice. We watched him.
And 4th down and 20. Webster going to throw again into the corner.
Oh, look at
And
this.
here comes a penalty flag. It's going to get him for pass interference.
Yeah.
It took him a minute to get him out, but you could see him reaching for it.
Well, it wasn't quite a minute, but it would fall into the category of a late flag. But I think you're absolutely correct. It was tucked in so deeply. It was difficult to get it out.
interference is called. That's a ridiculous call. How can you tell that? That's ridiculous.
And they marched the penalty off, and Clyde Folsom, a little in disbelief, I think, with his hands on his hips.
Pass interference. Defense. First down.
Boy, that is, again, another costly penalty for West Deptford.
At the wrong times, huh? Every time. Watch, see what we can see at the end of this play. Here's the toss. Cooper reaches across. Goes for the ball, knocks it away with the left hand. I'll tell you what, we're up here and they're down there, and that's why they get paid to wear the striped shirts. You got to call what you believe is the right call.
More importantly, on a penalty on 4th down and 20, it's now a first down. Webster gives it off to Isaac Redmond, and boy, does he go into the end zone easily on first down, and it is now 27-0 in favor of Paulsboro with 8:53 left in the ballgame.
Yeah, that was kind of like, wow, what else can we do? And at that point, you kind of think Paulsboro's blockers got a shoulder on anybody, and they didn't have to push too hard.
178 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Terrific night for that young man, Isaac Redmond. Boy, he has shown the whole gambit of runs. From the easy one for the 5-yard, that one he went in untouched, to the terrific 85-yard run earlier. Bad snap. Paulson pulls it down and is just going to get run out of bounds, so the conversion fails. The snap was a little high, and Funk never even had a chance to get a foot into it. And so the score remains 27-0 with just under 9 minutes to play.
A little high, but, they knew what to do, didn't they? It isn't like they don't practice that situation. Just try to get to the corner, but not going to happen.
Good job by Isaac Okai to chase him to the sidelines there, and Paulson did a good job just handling that one as it was up so high. We have an update as well on Anthony Esposito, the injured lineman for Paulsboro. He was taken to Cooper Medical Center for a possible neck injury as opposed to Woodbury.
Yeah, Cooper is a trauma center in South Jersey. Underwood would be the closest hospital, but Cooper, you go if you're really concerned with a major trauma.
Yeah, we were told from the truck as we get a look at the touchdown that he was alert and coherent as well, so that is good news.
Well, not too difficult a task, was it there? That's the one that we normally say, hey, Ken, you could run that one in.
And I might still be able to do that just yet. So Funk will kick it away one more time from the 40-yard line. Weinhardt, Gonzalez, Holmes back deep. This is a high end-over-end kick. Taken by Justin O'Neill back at the 20, works his way to the 25, and that is about it.
A lot of noise being made in front of us tonight by a pretty good band, the West Deptford band. We ought to talk about this as we see Redmond's stats, 15 carries, 178 yards, and the 3 TDs. But this West Deptford band, are you ready for this? Leave December 27th for London, where they will perform in the New Year's Day parade. Very, very happy group. There they are. London bound. Only there are 40 bands from around the world, all around the world, invited to participate in the London New Year's Day parade, and they're one of them.
Another penalty flag on the ground as this play has Weinhardt scrambling for his life and finally dropped at the 20-yard line.
By you-know-who, Mendenhall.
And penalty will go against the Eagles. You just get the feeling that this has begun to snowball for West Deptford.
Yep.
There's an illegal shift against West Deptford, and that penalty has been declined. So the Red Raiders will take the sack, and it will be second down.
Yeah, another dead ball foul. It looked as if Paulsboro was going to blitz right up the middle that time, and I think maybe one of the West Deptford players come out of their stance.
Dead ball foul. False start, offense.
Yep.
You're right.
Weinhardt, the quarterback, talking to the referee for a moment. Got his hands in the pouch and back there, trying to keep him warm. It is very, very cold here tonight, and there is absolutely no wind. The flags at the far end of the field are hanging straight down, so it's very fortunate. It would be a lot colder.
Cleary and his coaches are now walking down. You can probably get a shot at this.
Pass out to Cooper, in and out of his hands.
Right in front of us.
And he looks down at his hands, Chris Cooper does, trying to figure out what happened. And for that cold night, tough to hang on to the football.
Yep. Coming right down the stairs in front of us.
27-0, 8:11 left.
There he is. There we go. There we go. There's a guy that's been very interested in the goings on here tonight. Coach Bob Clear from Glassboro, the Bulldog head coach. See what he can see as they will prepare for, first they've got a game tomorrow against Gloucester, but then against the Paulsboro team in the Group 1 playoff. You know, they have a quarterback down there, Sakeem Wright, who is only a senior, he's a senior now, yeah, but he is rated #1 quarterback in the state on the McCarthy report, which really is the most respected scouting service in the state.
Fred Burt carries the ball on first down. And again, this big rivalry game. Some emotions running a little high out there towards the end of the play. 7:44 and counting now in the fourth quarter, and Paulsboro in control of this one. Kick it away, Jason Williams, a sophomore. On to kick it away, and who is back for Paulsboro other than Isaac Redmond? A bit of a high snap, kick is away, and it's high, and it gets a good roll right down the sideline into Paulsboro territory to about the 48-yard line, and so the Red Raiders will take over there. First down and 10.
They never stop.
7:14 left in the fourth quarter, 27-0 Paulsboro. Now the Red Raiders all over this one on the scoreboard at least. Statistics not as different as you might expect them to be, but it has been big plays and crucial penalties that have been a story of this football game so far. Paterna again. Pretty good strong run that time.
In a sense, you know, maybe for West Deptford, the 27-0 score with 7 minutes left in this game is part of the rivalry. 18-1, going to be 19-1, and look at the score: 27-7 a year ago, with West Deptford on top. Now 27-0 with Paulsboro. They've turned it right around, haven't they?
Yeah, West Deptford winning that game also won the Colonial Conference Championship.
Yep.
By virtue of that victory for the first time. Second down now, 6.5 minutes left in the ball game. Paterna again has the first down across the 40-yard line, and James Funk in at quarterback. First time tonight.
Paterna is approaching 600 yards on the season with the game that he's had tonight. He was just about at 500 coming into the ball game. He's had a nice game tonight. When you add Redmond's 1,230 before tonight's game and close to 200 before, you know, then you'd say that's a great tandem. But now Funk, who is also part of a tandem, we thought we'd see more of him tonight. 18 for 46 so far this season. It's a fine athlete, Mr. Funk. And Webster just had such a good game. He didn't get much of a shot tonight. In fact, not till now.
Funk pitches the option around the corner to Redmond. Redmond's still on his feet, spinning, and is down to the 24-yard line. We saw the numbers on Funk a moment ago.
Uh-oh. Not a good scene
and
there.
Redmond is not getting up.
Not a good scene there as Redmond remains down. 5:55 on the clock as he makes what seems to be a very innocent play here. He just turns the corner, then turns back. Oh, look, see that one foot? Did you see the way the foot went, you wonder if this is an ankle injury. Watch how the one foot right before he's hit down near the end seems to make a false step. Ooh, right there. Nobody touching him at that point. Well, there it is, I guess. It was that right there. We saw it better from the other angle, but that was not from being hit. That was like a step as he's trying to make a move. We'll wait and see. But boy,
one of those injuries that really, nothing devastating that you can see.
Nope. But he's just got the look of pain right there as the play was being completed.
Well, the training staff for Paulsboro is definitely earning their money this evening.
Yep. You don't want to see anybody go down, but you see the one who has franchise written all over him. You don't want to see that guy ever go down.
Yeah, that'll make a coach's heart leap right up in his throat.
Every kid's just as important as the next when it comes to injuries. But as far as the actual competition, you just can't avoid the fact that, you say, should I have taken him out just a little bit earlier, 27-0, and just under 6 minutes to play.
Now we've got some good football coming up for you as well here on CN8. State semifinal action from the PIAA, Philadelphia Catholic and Public League finals and group finals in the NJSIAA. And I tell you what, you can travel anywhere you want to in the country and you will not find a better combination of football than you will in the region that we cover.
Well, he doesn't have his 200 yards, and I bet you he doesn't get them because I bet he isn't back in the ballgame tonight. But let's just be so thankful that this young man is walking the way he is on the sideline. I think he just got like a stinger of some kind where he stepped in the wrong, looked like he had caught it right in a hole or something, which I can't imagine.
See the look on Glenn Howard's face. One of thankfulness that his star tailback is able to get off the field under his own power. First down, Funk's going to keep it around the left side. Pushed out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line.
And the aforementioned Kyrros Cooper is now the tailback, the other sophomore speedster. See if he gets a chance to handle the football and what he does with it.
The only thing they really lose with Kyrros Cooper in the game is a little bit of size. He's not as big as Redmond. Cooper fact, going 5'7", 145.
Yeah, 40 pounds lighter.
But he is quick. He may be 40 pounds lighter and that much easier to bring down, but you have to catch him first.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on a little cutback this time. Still on his feet, fighting for the end zone, and he gets in. Touchdown, Dave Paterna. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season, 6th touchdown overall. And that makes the score 33-0 with 5:05 left here in the fourth quarter. Raiders will try and make it 34 with the point after. Good snap this time. And James Funk showing a terrific leg, and the extra point is good. And it's 34-0 in favor of Paulsboro. And they, of course, at this point now, with just over 5 minutes left, this is the point where you say, okay, let's get out of this one. We don't want anybody else hurt. We've already had one player taken to the hospital tonight. We hope is all right, Anthony Esposito. We saw Redmond go a moment ago.
Going to see a lot of numbers, I would think, in the next 5 minutes that we haven't seen so far this evening. Paulsboro, Group 1 school, but they come dressing 60 players. And players is not a misnomer when it comes to that group on that sideline. They come to a ball game prepared as well as anyone I've watched over the last 30 years or so of high school football. And Glenn Howard has to be credited with that, with a fine staff that joins him as an outstanding group of assistant coaches that so seldom get any accolades. Dom Antonini and Tony Delavecchia, Byron Dixon, Wayne Farrow, Jim Pandolfo, Tom Richardson, Phil Scott, Fran Simpson. So many been there for so many years together. That coaching staff from Paulsboro just does such a great job.
See the scoring drive, just over 2 minutes. Turn and taking it in. Gonzalez, Weinhardt, and Holmes back deep for West Deptford. And Brett Holmes will take this one from the 12-yard line. Get up behind the wedge, got a little hole. Holmes at the 30, the 40, trying to cut it back now, pushed out of bounds right at midfield. Karis Cooper in the pursuit for the Red Raiders. Good return that time by Brett Holmes.
Yeah, as we remarked before, you hate to see the talent like this young man possesses get overlooked because of a score 34-0 in this ball game. Has nothing to be ashamed of. He has had a career that will be long remembered here in West Deptford.
Holmes the ball carrier for a couple. 3 yards into Paulsboro territory with 48-yard line. And Brett Holmes holding the school records in attempts, yards, and touchdowns.
35 TDs, over 3,200 yards carrying, and I think 500 and some carries, something of that nature.
Yeah, close to 600.
Yeah.
Second and 7.
And a new quarterback coming in for West Deptford, Kyle Mancuso, the sophomore.
Mancuso's seen some duty defensively, but he'll be the main guy next year unless somebody else steps up.
There's Holmes into the secondary, steps out of one tackle, cuts it back, 25-20. One man to beat, gonna drag him down at the 10-yard line. Holmes all the way into the secondary. Carl Revels, the junior strong safety, brings him down, and it saved a touchdown. And West Deptford, with 4:10 left in the ballgame, trying to crack the scoreboard and prevent the shutout.
And you can see his talent, by he finds the hole, finds the opening, and then turns and tries to get away from Revels. Can't quite do it, but you know the good backs have that vision thing. You know, they find the hole, they find the daylight. If it's ever there, there's no daylight here.
And Holmes started the play just outside the 10, finished it just across the 10, so maybe half a yard. That'll bring up second down. A little keeper, Mancuso put it behind his back, and he still dropped it about the 11-yard line. And
I don't think it was designed that way.
He had me fooled on that play.
I don't think it was designed that way. Watch, let's see where the ball goes. Whoop. Oh my, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Now, don't tell me he was trying. Look at this. I'll tell you what, he'll go his whole career and never duplicate that play.
Kyle Mancuso or Curly Neal?
There you go.
A little behind the back.
What? How many people remember that illusion?
Well, this has been a game where we have seen it all. Mancuso, a little play action to back up field. Brought down to the 9. That will bring up a fourth down situation.
Mike Plesac in there, number 64, getting some action, makes the stop.
The clock is rolling on the scoreboard, and we come up on 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Fourth down and goal. And there they give it to the up man, and he is into the end zone. Bill Harker, the junior running back, and West Deptford is on the scoreboard. With 1:50 left in the fourth quarter, the Eagles find the end zone.
A little counter play coming back, a little counter trap, and Harker found an opening, was not to be denied, so they get there. Be interesting had Paulsboro not scored, and West Deptford got the extra point, we would have a complete reversal of last year's score, 27-7, West Deptford on top.
Jason Williams, a sophomore, on for the extra point try. Kick is up now, and it is no good. 1:50 left in the fourth quarter. The score is 34-6, and the Eagles, we talk about in the second half, they come out on the pride, the challenge, and they prevent the shutout. A little positive note for Clyde Folsom to work on. Some young guys out on the field.
Nice counter trap here. Jason Morrell leads the way, along with McWhite, number 44. So two guys with had nice careers here, coming up with nice blocks to lead the way for Harker into the end zone. Well, the big crowd that we have here has largely dispersed. Been a long evening at West Deptford. Very long for the guys in green.
What a strange night of football it has been. We have seen plays that you might go 3-4 seasons and not see. We saw a holding penalty on a punt, but because nobody touched the ball for the defense,
that's correct.
The offense kept it and got a first down.
That's correct.
We have seen some really peculiar plays. You see the scoring drive there, 3:15.
I think it was apropos that Mancuso gave us that little magic act right at the end, apropos of some of the plays we've had, huh?
Williams has it teed up as if there will be a onside kick coming here, and the Red Raiders, I think, agree also. They're kind of inching up. And here come the Eagles. There's a kick. Got the good bounce. And the Red Raiders get possession, and that's Kevin Hernsberg, the junior, the lineman, up and showing some pretty good hands there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get to the corner and maybe turn it on and run it in.
I tell you what, and credit, I mean, that's not the easiest thing in the world, this kick. Credit Jason Williams, because he got the nice bounce.
That's the one you need. That's the one you practice. You got to get that bounce. But Hertzberg comes up with it and shows us the running ability. He'll go off and say, guys, I want to be a fullback. Look at this left hand. There it is. Takes
Off the tip drill. Not bad for a lineman. Maybe he needs to talk to Coach Howard and say, Coach, can I try some tight end?
That's what he's going to do.
Straightforward running game for the Red Raiders this time. Ryan White, a freshman, in to carry the football that time. Brought down by Isaac Okai. There you see Mr. Hertzberg. He's saying, come on, Coach. And now he's got tape to prove it.
Well, this is the time, believe it or not, where you got to make the impression. You don't get that many chances to get into the ball game at the varsity level. So you're ready, you wait, you get your chance, and you show off.
Webster out of the game, the quarterback. Funk now in. Isaac Redmond also on the sidelines. This one is not in doubt anymore. Straight up the middle into West Deptford territory. Another good run by White. 5'7", 155-pound freshman, showing his stuff. Knowing he's going to be in there behind Redmond for a couple of years, taking every opportunity he can to show what he can do. Big hole.
That is not bad for a second unit, huh? They will be playing that one over again and say, see, we can open them, but this guy, freshman, huh? Where do they keep coming from down in Paulsboro?
Another handoff to go for about 8 or 9 yards. Clock winds down to 15 seconds and counting.
Could well have been the last play. Jerome Beverly may have been the last one to carry the ball in this contest. Howard finally gives the smile, something you don't see from him much during a ball game, I guarantee you. Congratulates the players. Has such a great relationship with this group. They trust him, you know, they believe in him. They know he will not gild the lily. He will not tell them something that isn't. So they believe him, and then he goes to his assistants and says, what every head coach has to say, guys, without you, we wouldn't have been here.
Now, Paulsboro is victorious here, 34-6, the final score. We'll come back in just a moment and wrap this one up from West Deptford, New Jersey, with a little post game here on CN8. Welcome back to West Deptford, New Jersey. The final score once again here tonight. Paulsboro 34, West Deptford 6, in a good Colonial Conference matchup. I'm standing by with head coach Glenn Howard from Paulsboro. Coach, first of all, congratulations on a 2000 conference championship.
Thank you very much. It's good to have the conference back in Paulsboro.
Give us an update very quickly. We should touch on this. How's Anthony Esposito doing? He was injured earlier.
From what we know, he's doing pretty good. Most of it was precautionary. They brought him in and took him out on the stretcher. He had movement in all of his limbs. He had a headache. He was a little bit dizzy. Other than that, he seemed to be, not in much pain. So we think he's going to be okay. And our prayers go out with him. And he was in good spirits when he left the field. I think most of it was precautionary.
What were you thinking when you saw him down and he didn't get up right away? That must be a nightmare as a head coach.
Well, he's had some stingers in his shoulder area a couple other times this year. So I thought that's what it would be. And, he was in good spirits. And his mother and father were out with him. So I think he's going to be fine.
All right. 10-0 now, conference champions, looking ahead to very likely match up with Glassboro in the finals. Talk about that team. Could be a couple of 10-0, very good football teams going at it.
Yeah, I haven't seen Glassboro personally. I know they got a real good squad, though. We faced them in the passing league, and they got some great athletes on their team, the quarterback and the receiver, and running back Evans is very good, and they just got a really good ball club. And they're very well coached. They always play tough, hard-nosed defense, and it's going to be a great challenge for us.
You've got some good athletes on your squad as well. Tell us a little bit about Isaac Redmond's performance tonight.
Well, he had another outstanding game. He's been consistent all year long. Every team he's faced this year, he's ran the ball really well, and he's been durable. If we give it to him 25 times, he's ready for the call. If he gets it 8 times, he's ready for the call. And you saw tonight, he's tough, hard to bring down. He possesses a lot of speed, and he's a great breakaway threat for us.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win and the championship.
Thank you very much.
All right, and when we talk about Isaac Redmond, he showed us the gamut tonight, from easy touchdown runs to the most difficult ones. He's standing by with Mike Lindner.
Well, he didn't run the ball 25 times tonight. This is one of his first runs of the night. Just a 5-yard dance into the end zone. Gets the great block from his fullback, Paterna, and he gets in there in a hurry. And Isaac, you had to be very happy with that. You only had the ball 16 times tonight. What's going on? You're lightening the load a little bit.
Yeah, well, 16 carries is enough for me, as long as we come out with a win. And today our whole team stepped up, and Dave threw a lot of key blocks for me. And so our team is just proud to have a Colonial Conference championship back to Paulsboro.
And of course, you got a lot of good blocks tonight, but there was one run particularly where it really wasn't so much blocking as it was Isaac Redmond. Tell us about the 85-yard run, and we're going to watch it, and you're going to see how many times you will get hit here. 7 times. Did you realize it?
No, I didn't realize. I just kept on trying to spin and dip and dive and try to get out of the hole. And I slipped away from a couple of tacklers, and I was off to the races.
Now, when you say you were off to the races, we kind of noticed that as you got down around the 20-yard line or 15, looked like you were running out of steam a little bit. How about that?
I don't want to tell Coach Howard that. We might have a little bit of extra running on Monday.
All right, well, we don't want that to happen. Good job tonight. Congratulations, 192 yards, just under 200. And maybe you would have had the 200, but looked like you got injured. What was that, like an ankle or what?
Yeah, the guy came up from behind me and tackled me and rolled on my ankle. And it'll be fine. I go home and ice it, and I'll be back to practice on Monday.
And be ready for the Bulldogs from Glassboro.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. Go enjoy this one.
Thanks.
Great young man, and he does all the right things. Talks about the players that are out there blocking for him, and he does get some blocks, but guess what? Block or not, this is a real talent.
Yeah, he is a tremendous talent. You see the rushing yards for Paulsboro. He had the bulk of them. 363 yards, 469 of total offense. I tell you what, next week, if they meet Glassboro, you're talking about a colossal matchup.
Well, you're talking about a game in which it could be 800 to 1,000 yards in total offense. This could go up and down the field. So that's going to be a great game, and anybody has a chance in the area, they should get out to see that one.
Yeah, well, we got some good news tonight as well. That Anthony Esposito, nothing really serious. They think he's going to be okay. And we saw the movement. He waved to the crowd. He was leaving. Very good news. You hate to see that in a high school football game.
Well, you hate to see it any time. You hate to see it happen to any player at all. But it just happens. We watched it a couple times, and there was nothing could avoid it. It just occurred. But he's going to be fine, and they'll think about this for a little bit, and then they'll get ready for that Bulldog game, and hopefully he'll be back for that one.
Yeah, well, Paulsboro gets the 2000 Colonial Conference Championship, and more importantly, a big win on a Thanksgiving weekend against their arch rival, the West Deptford Eagles. For Mike Lindner and the entire crew here at CN8, my name is Ken Phelps. Thanks for joining us. The Paulsboro Red Raiders victorious in this one, 34-6 over West Deptford. So long.